Alright, so with Samsung Unpacked getting closer and closer, we've seen a ton of leaks and rumors about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, the successor to last year's S22 Ultra, which was finally able to merge the Galaxy Note and the Galaxy S series into one flagship device. So for this video, we just want to talk about some of the things that we can expect from Samsung's non-folding flagship phone, going over some of the features that we might see once it finally makes its debut, and of course, how it compares to its predecessor. Now, it should be said that at this point, nothing is official until Samsung says so, and as a disclaimer, we might still see some changes when it comes to the S23 itself. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, we actually have a video for some of the leaks and predictions of the base model Samsung Galaxy S23, and if you guys want to watch that video, we'll drop a link in the description below. With that being said, what can we expect from the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra? Well, let's take a look. Alright, so first off, let's talk about one of the biggest upgrades to the S23 Ultra, which is camera hardware. It's no secret that Samsung has been showing off its latest 200 megapixel ISOCELL HP2 camera, and if the predictions are correct, we'll most likely see this inside the S23 Ultra, especially given that the timing of the promotion for the ISOCELL falls very close to the launch of the S23 Ultra. Now, if you want to get a bit more technical, the ISOCELL HP2 features a 1 and 1.3 inch sensor that's found in most 108 megapixel cameras out there. And Samsung has also managed to cram 200 million 0.6 micrometer pixels into the sensor, meaning that they have doubled the number of pixels while retaining the overall size of the lens. This also means that if the HP2 is indeed inside the S23 Ultra, Samsung users will benefit from new features like 8K video recording, better low-light photography, and reduced shutter lag, at least according to Samsung. This also makes it nearly twice the size of the resolution on the S22 camera, which came in at 108 megapixels. As for the ultra-wide and the telephoto lenses, it's reported that Samsung will use the same hardware from last year. Now, if you guys want a better idea of how the S22 Ultra camera performs, we actually have a few videos showcasing the photo quality as well as the video quality that you can get on the S22 Ultra, and we'll link them in this video as well. Of course, we still have to wait for whatever announcements Samsung has in store when it comes to computational photography, as software optimization plays a major role when it comes to the overall smartphone camera performance. Now, of course, the S23 Ultra wouldn't be a fully fledged smartphone upgrade if it didn't come with improvements to overall performance and usability. A statement from TM Rowe, president of Samsung Electronics, describes the Samsung Galaxy Ultra series. He states, and I quote, "At the top of the Galaxy S series is our Galaxy S Ultra. It's a product you can trust to give you the best of the best with redefined performance and quality. We fully merge the most beloved Galaxy Note experiences into Ultra, pioneering a smartphone with the power, performance, and the creative capabilities of two leading Galaxy innovations in one. The Galaxy S Ultra has truly become the pinnacle of Samsung Mobile's innovation, a mark that stands out against everything else, and soon we'll show you what Ultra can do in even more device categories." Big promises aside, it does seem that Samsung is working on delivering massive performance upgrades, and at this point it's pretty much expected that we'll see Qualcomm's newest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor inside the S23 Ultra. In one of our earlier videos, we did mention that the 8 Gen 2 will come with improved performance versus the 8 Gen 1 and the 8 Plus Gen 1, and we've even seen some benchmarks online which pertain to the Galaxy S23's performance, which were achieved using Geekbench. According to the benchmark results, the S23 Ultra scored 1,521 for single-core performance and 4,689 for multi-core performance, which places it considerably ahead of the more powerful smartphones that we've seen in 2022. In comparison, last year's Galaxy S22 with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 scored around 1,200 at most for single-core performance and 3,000 for multi-core, which does make the S23 look like a better improvement overall, at least in terms of benchmarks. It's also rumored that Samsung might finally cave into popular demand and equip all the S23 Ultra units with Snapdragon chipsets, meaning that we will no longer get Exynos-powered Samsung flagships. And this should be great news for users in regions that typically don't get access to Qualcomm-powered Samsung Galaxy S phones. This also means that there's a big chance that some of the issues that plague the Exynos versions of previous Samsung flagships, such as overheating, terrible battery drain, as well as occasional issues with the performance as well as the speed of the phone, will likely be addressed, and it does make things all the more exciting. Now, moving on from performance, let's talk about the design on this phone. Now, it's very much expected that the S23 Ultra will come with a very similar looking style to its predecessor, featuring the same rectangular styling and even the same camera bump design as we saw on the S22 Ultra. So based on this, it looks like we're getting the same camera bump design, which means separate camera bumps, and this will be a very subjective affair for a lot of people. It's also interesting to note that the same camera design will come to the base model S23 as well as the upcoming Galaxy A54. On one hand, we do get a more similar design from Samsung this time around, but this might not sound so good for users who are expecting a different design for 2023. With that said, Samsung is pretty much playing it safe this year in terms of design, but we do get 4 different colors which were leaked recently. So we have white, pink, green, and black, and so far these have been the renders that we've seen online, so who knows, you might get additional colors throughout the year, as is the case with some of Samsung's previous phones. Aside from the design, we've also gotten some other leaks which give away the internals of the S23 Ultra. It's expected that the phone will come with a 6.8-inch dynamic OLED display with a layer of Gorilla Glass Victus 2, making it one of the first phones to feature this latest product from Corning. Other specs include a choice between 8 and 12 gigs of RAM, a 5000 mAh battery, support for 45-watt fast charging and 10 watts wireless charging, as well as Android 13 with One UI 5.1, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 6E, and NFC, to name a few. Now, with all that said, we have to stress at this point that all of this is mostly third-party information that we've gotten online, so we'd suggest keeping reservations as to the authenticity of information like this. But given the accuracy of most leaks nowadays, it wouldn't be surprising if most of these turn out to be spot on. One thing that we can be sure of though is the launch date of the device. Samsung's Unpacked event is scheduled to go live on February 1st, which will no doubt feature the entire S23 lineup. One cool thing, however, is that Samsung fans can already sign up to pre-order the S23 Ultra with $100 in Samsung credit as well as a pre-order offer. As for the phone itself, I do think that the S23 Ultra is a definite upgrade from its predecessor, despite the overall similar design. On the other hand though, we have to keep in mind that until we have actual device performance reviews, we'll still have to wait a bit more for the S23's arrival, but for now we do have a pretty clear picture of what to expect. Alright guys, so that does it for this video. What are your thoughts on the S23 Ultra? Do let us know in the comments below. Are you guys planning on getting this smartphone, or are you just gonna get the base S23 or maybe something else? And do check out our other videos here on Phandroid. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.